Divine Health Meditation, Session 1. Dr. Roy E. Richmond. All verses will be read from R. E. Richmond Tree of Life Bible translations and explanations. I would ask that you be laying down in a quiet place, undisturbed, maybe in a recliner or bed or sitting at a sofa. And just relax and be calm and breathe real still and purposely, taking deep breaths out through your nose and then breathe them out through your mouth. And just get yourself in a position of rest, realizing that you're the very presence of Elohim. And as I speak these words, that they will reverberate through you as energy, nourishing your entire being. There will be some places I will ask for you to repeat after me, and there will be places where I say I, and I'm speaking of you as I say that, and me. So let's start out taking 5 deep breaths through your nostrils and hold them a second, and then breathe them out. Breathe in a deep breath through your nostrils, and then breathe them out through your mouth. And let yourself just sink into a state of awareness, free from any other thought. Continue to do that for several more times. See yourself through the single eye, with the light of spiritual energy flooding around you and flowing around you, like the disciples on the day of Pentecost when it said there was like flames of fire going around their head. That's speaking of an awareness, a spiritual awareness of what they've been taught. And allow that to happen to you today as I speak these meditations and these statements to you. In Deuteronomy chapter 8, those verses are filled by Moses with the promise of all kinds of plagues and diseases spoken over the people if they do not follow Moses' lead in his laws, but they're not Elohim's pronouncement. Deuteronomy 28 does not represent what Elohim said, but reflects Moses' anger and frustration and how that distinction matters for divine health and identity. Deuteronomy 28 must be read with discernment, not fear. This portion of the text does not flow from the voice of Elohim, but from Moses himself, speaking out of anger, exhaustion, and deep frustration with a people who continue to resist trust and awareness. Scripture itself records multiple moments where Moses spoke from emotional reaction rather than divine instruction. And this passage carries that same tone, an escalation and volatility. The language shifts noticeably in these verses. What begins earlier as a guidance becomes increasingly harsh, exaggerated, and punitive. We can see that in many ministry today. As time comes on, the congregations get larger, their debt gets bigger, they begin to speak with exaggerated terms trying to get the people to do something. The descriptions pile up as catastrophes, disease, and horrors in a way that reflects carnal outrage rather than divine nature. Elohim does not spiral into rage or threaten endlessly or invent escalating punishments. That's how breath speaks. It's not how breath speaks. It speaks with love. That is how wounded authority speaks when it feels unheard. Moses had reacted and had reached the limits of patience. He was carrying the burden of a law he himself created, enforcing a system that never produced life, watching the people remain fearful, reactive, and resistant. In that state, Moses projected consequences-driven fear, reactive and resistant again. This is not revelation, it's a transference. Elohim does not weaponize sickness, disease, famine, or terror. Elohim does not teach through fear or destruction. Life does not threaten life. Divine nature does not contradict itself. Any passage in the Bible that presents Elohim as the author of sickness, insanity, violence, or prolonged torment must be understood as filtered to carnal awareness, not spoken from divine mind. This is why Jesus later corrects these distortions so consistently. He never attributes sickness to Elohim. He never reinforces Deuteronomy 28. Instead, he exposes law-based identity as the source of bondage and presents Elohim as breath, life-giver, and restorer. He does not continue Moses' threats. He dissolves them. The consequences listed in Deuteronomy 28 are not curses issued by Elohim, but the natural outcome of living under fear, law, separation, and constant self-measurement. Moses described what the law does to people, then wrongly framed it as what Elohim would do to them. Jesus removes that framing entirely. Understanding this distinction is essential for divine health. If Elohim is believed to be the source of sickness, the body cannot rest. If Elohim is thought to punish through disease, awareness remains divided. Divine health cannot be lived in a place where Elohim is feared. Elohim does not bring disease. Elohim reveals life. Moses described what happens when people live disconnected from life, then attributed it to Elohim. Jesus restores that correct image. Paul confirms it, and breath now speaks clearly. So I do not read Deuteronomy 28, 21 through 26 as a divine threat. I recognize it as carnal awareness, anger, law-based projection, and a description of consequences. Repeat these with me. I release fear-based theology. I rest in truth. Elohim is life. Divine health is permanent. Exodus 15, 25 through 26. Awareness cried out to Elohim, and Elohim revealed a tree. And when it was cast into the waters were made sweet, and their perception was ordered. Awareness was instructed, and the voice of Elohim spoke with them. When you listen attentively to the voice of breath within, and align with what is right in divine sight, and give attention to truth, and remain in alignment, no condition born of bondage or limitation has authority to say in you, for I exist in you, Elohim, your divine health. In this book of Exodus account, the bitter waters become sweet are not a lesson in obedience under threat, but a revelation of perception being transformed. What appeared harmful was not changed by force, but by the introduction of life. The tree placed into the waters is a picture of divine nature introduced into awareness. When divine life is recognized and applied, what once tastes bitter becomes nourishing. This is not about Elohim testing people, but about awareness learning how life restores what appears corrupted. The statement, I exist Elohim, your divine health, is not a promise dependent upon behavior, but a declaration of nature. Elohim is not alternating between health and disease, nor assigning sickness as consequences. Elohim reveals breath as the source of life, wholeness, and vitality. To hear the voice of Elohim is to align awareness with what already is, not to earn protection, but to live from truth. Divine health is not something Elohim does occasionally. Divine health is what Elohim is. As this awareness settles, the inner voice speaks clearly. I exist the Elohim that is your health. This is not imagination, but recognition. The word is not waiting to be fulfilled. It carries within itself the life it declares. The word does not describe healing, it expresses healing. What is spoken from divine life can manifest as lived experience. Divine health is not added later, it is inherent. Elohim is not outside the sacred self, but present within. The body is not separate from divine activity, but included in it. The sacred self is the dwelling place of Elohim, and where Elohim dwells, life flows. This life is greater than sickness, greater than disease, and greater than aging, because it's not reacting to them, it simply is. As awareness rests in this truth, the body responds naturally. There's no lack of health where divine life is recognized as present. The shepherding care of Elohim is not supervision from afar, but guidance from within. The body remains in contact with the Elohim that is health. Union is not foreign, human is acknowledged. As divine life is lived consciously, the body yields to that life, not through effort or demand, but through agreement. Divine health is not separate from Elohim, and Elohim is not separate from the sacred self. What Elohim is flows through what Elohim indwells. Gratitude arises naturally, not as persuasion, but as recognition. Elohim, you are my health, and your life is expressing itself in me now. Elohim is not arriving later, it's unfolding now, as awareness rests in what has already been. Repeat this with me. Elohim, you are my health and you're my life. Life is expressing itself in me now. Health is not arriving later, it's unfolding in me now, as awareness rests in what has always been true. Take time now and relax, continue to relax, and take 5 more deep breaths through your nostrils, and then breathe them out. Exodus 23:25. You serve Elohim through conscious alignment. Elohim is your bread and your water, meaning the life you partake of inwardly and the word that flows through your awareness, and all sickness or sense of lack is removed from your midst. Because where life is rightly discerned and received, limitation has no place to remain. In the Exodus story here, bread and water are not merely natural provisions, but they're living symbols of inner sustenance. Bread speaks of union, the constant participation in the life revealed by Jesus' mission, not as an external event, but as an inward realization of shared life. Water speaks to the word flowing freely through conscious awareness, the sacred self, and the body cleansing distortion and restoring wholeness. When awareness feeds on truth and drinks deeply from the living water, life expresses itself naturally and without a resistance. The declaration that sickness is taken away is not conditional language, but a statement of divine intent already fulfilled in the eternal now. Elohim does not negotiate with sickness, nor respond reactively. When Elohim says, I will, it is not future-oriented, but an expression of completed certainty. What is spoken from the eternal now is already active. Sickness has no authority to remain where divine life is recognized as present and governing. As rest is alive in your awareness in this truth, the inner voice speaks clearly and without certainty. I take sickness away from the midst of thee. This is not persuasion, repetition, or effort. It is recognition. The word is alive and active, not waiting to be empowered, but carrying within itself the life it declares. Elohim watches over this word, not to make it accurate, not to make it true, but because it is true, and that truth is unfolding in lived experience now. Divine health is not persuaded, requested, or negotiated, it is acknowledged. As awareness aligns with what has already been revealed in the person and work of Jesus, what was once seen as sickness has no foundation to remain. Divine health expresses itself effortlessly because it is permanent, not temporal, not conditional, and not subjective to fluctuation. The sacred self does not become healthy, it awakens to health. Gratitude flows naturally from recognition rather than effort. Now repeat this after me. Thank you, Elohim, that sickness is not something I must overcome, but something already removed from my awareness and experience. I see what it is. I believe what has been revealed. And in seeing, believing becomes knowing. Divine health belongs to me, not as a promise, but as a present possession. In me, there is no sickness, no disease, and no decay, because my life is the expression of uninterrupted life. And because I exist one with and as Elohim, that same life flows through me now. Divine health is not arriving later, it is expressing itself now. As awareness rests in union and life does what life has always done, it reveals itself fully. Okay, now just think on that for a while. Breathe slowly and relax. You're not in the presence of Elohim, you are the presence of Elohim. Deuteronomy 7:15. Elohim within removes from you every condition of sickness. No distorted condition born from bondage, fear, or law-based living has authority to rest upon you, because those conditions belong to awareness shaped by oppression and separation, not to awareness aligned with truth. And where life is rightly known, divine health remains uninterrupted. The statement here in Deuteronomy is a declaration of separation between awareness living from truth and awareness living from resistance to truth. What is described as sickness being taken away is not relocation or punishment, but removal through non-participation. Where awareness no longer identifies with limitation, sickness has no place to remain. Divine life does not battle disease, it simply does not sustain it. Repeat this out loud. Divine health belongs to me, and sickness does not. Sickness is not part of my identity, my origin, or my inheritance. I am not redeemed from a curse because there is no curse, but I'm awakened from inherited consequences thinking. What appeared as sickness was never assigned by Elohim, but arose from awareness living beneath its proper measure. As awareness aligns with truth, those consequences dissolve naturally. The word spoken from Elohim is not informational, it is performative. It contains within itself the life it declares. The word does not attempt to accomplish something later, it expresses what already is. It does not return empty because it never leaves its source. As truth is recognized, it unfolds effortlessly in experience. Sickness does not need to be forced out or resisted. It simply has no agreement with me now. Divine health is present and active and governing our body. What no longer has agreement, no longer has authority. This is not struggle, but rest. Gratitude arises from recognition, not persuasion. Thank you, Father, that divine health is not approaching, but present. Thank you that limitation is not something I must overcome, but something that has already lost its foundation. What you have spoken is already done, and I live now from that finished truth. Repeat that with me. Thank you, Father, that divine health is not approaching, but present. Thank you that limitation is not something I must overcome, but that something has already lost its foundation. What you have spoken is already done, and I live now from that finished truth. Continue breathing deeply. Take 5 more deep breaths and release each one. Psalms 30, verse 2. O Elohim, my source, I turned my awareness within, and in that turning, divine health was revealed within me. I believe I have received my healing. I believe is not the correct posture here, because belief still implies uncertainty. What is being expressed is recognition. The cry is not desperation, but inward turning. Response is not something given later, but something revealed immediately. Divine health did not arrive after the cry. It was unveiled when awareness returned to its source. A more accurate expression of what follows would be, I recognize divine health as present. I see what has already been done. Divine health is not something I'm waiting to receive. It is something I have awakened. Repeat that with me. I recognize divine health as present. I see what has already been done. Divine health is not something I'm waiting to receive. It is something I have awakened to. Mark 11:24. Therefore I say to you, whatever you recognize as already received, when you turn inward in alignment with truth, remain settled in that knowing. It is lived in your experience, because recognition, not asking, establishes reality. We rest in what has already been established. We do not measure truth by sensation, appearance, or fluctuation in the body. We do not consult what we feel to determine what is real. We turn our awareness towards what is true, settled, and complete. Divine health is not something we are asking for, nor is it something we are waiting for to receive. Divine health is already present within us. It is active now, whole now, and uninterrupted now. What has been done does not shift with circumstances, and what is established in truth does not require confirmation. We do not strive to believe harder. We do not persuade ourselves into agreement. We recognize what is already ours. We awaken divine health as a present reality, not future outcome. What is true remains true. Whatever we feel, it or not, divine health belongs to us now. Not because of effort, but because feeling is not what makes it true, it's realization. We rest in recognition rather than expectation. We stand in agreement rather than struggle. As awareness settles in truth, the body follows naturally. There's no resistance in rest. There's no delay in recognition. Divine health is revealed within us, and life expresses itself freely, quietly, and surely. Psalm 42:11. Why is conscious awareness cast down within me? And why is there unrest moving through my inner being? Therefore I turn my awareness back to Elohim, not in postponement or hope deferred, but in recognition, and praise rises naturally, because Elohim is the divine health of my countenance and the source of my life. We become aware of our inner conversation, and when we do not ignore it, then we ask gently, why does conscious awareness feel cast down? And why is there unrest within me? We do not judge that moment, but we turn our awareness inward and we listen. We do not allow discouragement to define us. We refuse to live beneath an inaccurate measurement of ourselves. We do not identify with heaviness or delay or inner disturbance. We shift our awareness away from postponement and back into the present truth. We no longer place our life into the future through hope deferred. We rest our awareness in Elohim, not in a distant source, but as a present life within us now. What we once called hope becomes recognition. What we once waited for becomes acknowledgement. We choose praise. In other words, we speak the true story, not as effort, but as agreement. Praise is the recognition of what's already true. We speak the story of Elohim because Elohim is the divine health of our countenance. Our face, our expression, our presence reflects life, not strain, not declinement, and not encouragement. Speak this with me. I am thankful for breath within me, because breath is not bringing divine health to me. Divine health is within me. Life animates my awareness, flows through my body, and expresses itself outwardly without resistance. My countenance reflects what I live from, and I live from the divine health now. I remain here. I rest here. I allow Logos life to speak for itself. Continue breathing slowly in and out. Keep yourself relaxed. Realize that you are the presence of Elohim, and divine energy is flowing around and through your entire body at this moment. Just sink yourself into it and allow it to bring total restoration to your awareness. Psalms 9, 1 through 7. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. I give thanks to Elohim with my whole heart awareness, recounting all that is true and not hidden. I rejoice and rest in Elohim as awareness rises into clarity, because when limiting thoughts turn back from truth, they lose their standing. They collapse within themselves, but they no longer govern me, for you establish correct perception. You remain seated in unshaken stability, judging not with condemnation, but with truth. In all fear-based systems, false identities and oppressive remembrances fade and vanish. At the same time, Elohim abides forever as the constant source of life, order, and divine health. We turn our awareness inward and acknowledge Elohim with our whole heart awareness. We do not speak fragments of partial truth. We remember fully. We recount what is already true. We allow gratitude to rise, not as effort, but as recognition of life at work within us. We rejoice and rest in Elohim, not because of circumstances have changed, but because truth has never changed. Our joy is not dependent on appearance. It is rooted in what is eternal, stable, and present now. We give expression to praise because life is expressing itself through us. As awareness aligns with truth, everything that once opposed wholeness loses its footing. Limiting thoughts retreat, old narratives dissolve, and what once stood against divine health no longer has any agreement. Awareness no longer turns back into fear or inherited consequence thinking. When limitation loses agreement, it collapses on its own. It does not need to be fought or resisted. It simply cannot stand in the presence of awakened awareness. Divine order reasserts itself quietly, firmly, and without effort. Elohim remains seated in stability, not reacting, not adjusting, not correcting mistakes, but divine life is consistent. It's established and it's whole. What flows from Elohim flows from permanence, not fluctuation. We align with a steadiness now. Old patterns of thought, fear-based conclusions, and mistaken identities are silenced, not by force, not by effort, but by rest. They fade because they are no longer sustained. What once troubled awareness is no longer remembered at all. We rest here, divine health governs us, truth speaks within us, and life remains uninterrupted. Psalm 91:10. No condition of harm arises within myself, nor does any limiting belief draw near to my dwelling place. Because my dwelling is a conscious alignment with Elohim, and where awareness abides in truth, disturbance, sickness, and fear find no agreement and therefore no place to remain. At the same time, divine health governs naturally and without interruption. I rest in the awareness that no condition of harm has authority within me. I do not live under threat or chance or exposure. I live from alignment with Elohim, and alignment removes agreement with limitations. No condition rises within us at all. No awareness can disturb our peace. Nothing is permitted to settle into our dwelling place, because our dwelling place is not merely physical. Our dwelling place is breath within, conscious awareness rooted in Elohim, and where awareness abides determines what may remain. We do not guard ourselves through fear or vigilance, we stay at rest. Divine health is not something to defend, it's something that governs. Where divine health governs, disturbance finds no footing. Our body is not an unprotected structure, it is the expression of life lived consciously. What does not originate in life cannot remain in life. We do not resist it, we do not contend with it, we remain in rest. Elohim is not preventing something from happening later, Elohim is revealing what is already true now. We dwell in this truth, we abide here, and in this abiding, divine health expresses itself quietly, thoroughly, and without interruption. Repeat this. I remain here, life remains whole, divine health remains present. Second Corinthians 5:4. For while we are present in this embodied experience, we are not burdened with a desire to be released from it, but rather to be fully clothed with life itself, so that what has appeared mortal, temporary, or liable to decay is absorbed, overtaken, and swallowed up by life. As divine health expresses itself through embodiment rather than through departure. So we become aware that this earthly experience is not something to escape, but something to be included in life. We're not burdened by embodiment. We're not longing to be unclothed from this body. We're allowing light to fully clothe this body. We do not seek release from our visibleness. We allow divine life to permeate it. What seems to be mortal is accepted but absorbed into life. What once appeared limited is not discarded, but overtaken by truth. We're not waiting for change through departure, we're living change through inclusion. Divine life does not remove the body from experience, divine life fills the body with itself until what is temporary yields to what is permanent. This is not pressure, it's not strain, this is not an effort or a delay, it's the quiet, steady movement of life expressing itself where it already is. A sense of lack is not defeated by denial, but by saturation. As awareness rests in this truth, the body responds naturally. What was thought to be subject to decay is now governed by life. What once felt heavy is now carried by divine presence within. Repeat this with me. I remain here. Life is clothing me now. Divine health is absorbing every limitation, and what is of life remains. This is the end of meditation 1. Please continue to rest. Breathe in and breathe without. Breathe in and breathe out. As the Apostle Paul said, think on these things. Continue to meditate on what you've heard and allow the breath of life to flow through you and bring you into perfect rest. I will leave the music on for a while so you can continue to lay there and listen to the voice of Elohim speak to you and enlarge these things.